healthy.
What's that?
Papa John's Cool Ranch Papadilla. It's got all the nutrients that you need to survive.
Oh yeah,
all the essentials of cheese, meat,
bread. You know what else is fresh? True greens.
I drink Athletic Greens every morning. It makes me feel like shit.
I puke.
But those weekly checks are pretty fucking sweet.
I puke by lunch, and that really, all the purging really helps fix my stomach.
You know, I've lost 20 pounds because, you know, I can only eat Athletic Greens according to my contract, and it's fucking disgusting. So I haven't eaten in 2 weeks.
This is going to really bode well for when we try to get sponsorship.
I'm only taking sponsorships from Blue Chew. That's a product that I know works.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think a dog. Should have seen that guy.
I would try some High Smile. I want to taste that, like, that dumbass bubblegum toothpaste they have. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, there's this company that shills out to YouTubers and podcasters called High Smile, and they have, like, a bunch of weird-ass, like, flavors for, yeah, like HI, like hello, like hi.
That's fatal stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, is this like a pouch that gets me high? Because I'm kind of down with that.
Just toothpaste that gives you
yo, we put fucking ketamine in your toothpaste. Got a toothache? Well, you can take care of that and the next 3 days. You won't have to worry about a thing.
Want to brush your teeth and accidentally slip into a K-hole?
Boy, do I ever. You want to get trapped in a porta potty at a Limp Bizkit concert?
That's a K-hole. I mean, it's the same thing.
Oh, shit. I would do ketamine.
Yeah?
I mean, everything I've read about it, it's like...
It's just coke.
It's medical research. If it was administered to me, I'd take it.
It's just synthetic coke. What's wrong with that?
Hey, I've done real coke.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And what? And like, humans are not going to make anything that's hurting people. Humans would never...
When have we ever done that?
When have humans ever, like, specifically done something to hurt one another?
I can't think of a single product that a multinational corporation has made that has caused harm.
I can't.
Yeah, I mean, McDonald's is feeding people around the world.
I mean, when people bring up all these things, I mean, they're really just grabbing for pen needles. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like, say what you want to say about Johnson & Johnson and the baby powder or whatever, but babies be smelling like shit, so what do you want to do? What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah,
if it weren't for them, babies would be fucking smelling.
Yeah, oh, baby powder, it's so good. Well, then why are they shitting themselves?
Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't shit myself. I don't
up.
wear baby powder.
Grow the fuck up.
I think it's been like 5 minutes. Let's actually...
problem with hogs. Just staring at me.
Yo. What's your problem, bro?
Oh, this is a show?
Yeah, I think we're actually doing a show. Oh, we're only 4 minutes in.
Fuck.
Let's
get about 20 minutes in before we say anything about what this is.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you. So what's our first topic?
The first topic, what's something that happened to you this week that just royally pissed you off?
Okay.
You get a little rant out about it.
I work at a mail store. So that is some context needed to know. And I have a lot of people come in need to mail shit, obviously.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've never gone there for that.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of people don't. But nevertheless, I was mailing this thing for somebody, and we have this thing to show them, like, hey, did we get your address right?
Right.
Just, can you look at this thing? Just make sure it looks right, so that way we don't send it to the wrong place, wrong person, wrong phone number, so they're not calling someone random being like, hey, we got your package.
Hey, my fucking flower vase didn't show up.
Right.
What's up with that?
Exactly. So, he sees his address and his phone number after I had just asked him for his address and phone number. He goes, why is my address and phone number on here? And I was like, because like that is how shipping labels work. And and he was like, you need to take that off. And I was like, I can't actually.
Libertarian.
Yeah, right. Every time I hear something like that, I'm just like, why do you care that much?
It's like, whoa. People are gonna know where I live.
Yeah. No one knows where you
I'm the
live.
one that knows this number.
And no,
Papa John's just magically.
I'm so
appears
protective of my own address that I will connect cameras to a cloud software and have it beamed and have every single angle of my house cameraed and have that on a cloud drive internet server that I can tap into off of my phone at any single time, because that's not hackable at all. Yeah.
Dude, I've been watching dog shit.
Yeah, I've been watching your dog lately. You're gonna have to look out.
You can't chop onions worth of fuck. You should just stop cooking.
Yo, your form is off. Yo, your stroke game is
Your
weak.
stroke game? Also, you shit blood a lot. Lay off the Papadias.
Hey man, you know you don't have to go to the bathroom every time you masturbate. Anyway, so this dumbass wants me to take all his shit off, and I'm like, well, then I can't ship it, dummy. And I obviously don't say that, but I'm like, I can't ship it then because it needs everything. And yeah, it was just pretty stupid, and that riled me up. Anything for you?
So not last night, but the night before, I went to North Hills in Raleigh, which if you're from the area, you know it's where all the bougie white people go shop. And there's some nice restaurants up there. They got a Ben & Jerry's. That's pretty sweet. And we were going there to go to this place called Bar Taco. Great tacos. Shout out Bar Taco.
Bar Taco.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Could
Probably
be.
never have one.
Hey. Yeah, probably not. But hey.
But they had a good pork belly taco and great street corn, so I'm shouting it out. But when you go to North Hills, it's super populated, especially at like 5, 6 p.m. on a fucking Friday, because there's so many nice dinner spots and like cocktail bars and shit. And so you have to park underground, and there's this like, when you're coming into the whole shopping center, there's just a one-way go straight down from the light. Like you just pull into the shopping center and you go straight down underground. It's a whole parking deck. And there's a clearance sign, just like 9 feet or whatever. 90% of cars can make it, trucks, SUVs, whatever, unless you're driving like a fucking G-Wagon with a rack on top, like you're good. This guy pulls in ahead of us with his truck, and I notice immediately he's got a pipe rack, like a plumber truck would have, like to mount like, you know, all their equipment and like ladders and shit like that. Like that's what he's got on his truck. There's nothing on it, but he's just got a pipe rack. It's like just a little bit higher than his truck, which is lifted. I'm like, he might scrape that little sign, but he's still good. Like he'll be all right, you know. Surely that he knows that what he's doing, you know.
You
just
think.
Blindly trusting the guy who drives a fucking Chevy, whatever. It's not smart. He goes through, taps the rack has like the 4 prongs, like the 4 pipes like sticking out. So he taps the sign with the first 2, and then he's like, "Oh shit!" He stops, and I'm like, "Well."
You're
what is
already
he
there now,
like,
buddy.
You can't back up. There's 3 cars behind us. It's literally just wide enough for 1 car to pass through at a time. It's an entrance only. You can't, reverse and Austin Powers yourself out and go. You can't leave.
Yeah.
You have to. You got to go in there.
Yeah.
You got to go. But he stops and he starts to reverse, like he's trying to Austin Powers, but like he's almost there. Like it's like this wide, and he goes like this, and he's about to hit our car. So we roll the window down. We're like, "Hey, you gotta go." And he's like, "What am I supposed to do?" And it's like, "You're good, man. It's just the pipe rack." And he's like, "I can't fuck up this truck. It's my work truck." It's like, "Why are you taking your work truck to fucking North Hills to shop?" I can't fuck up my work truck, but I'm not supposed to be illegally. Do I have to get out of the car? Is this my first ever like road rage incident? It's just over parking. But instead, like he gets back in his truck. Because he had the door open, he was like hanging out, and I was like, what, dude? Like, because the 3 other people behind me are also gonna kick your ass. Because we're all just trying to get it.
We all are on the same page, and you're not.
Like, you're the one who's fucking up. And then he's like looking, and he gets back in his truck, and he pulls forward, and he goes so tentatively, it's just like wham. And then he's just like driving real slow through the whole parking deck. He's got like a foot of clearance. It's just the sign hangs down like 2 feet. But I wanted to follow him, and Maddie was like, my girlfriend was like, "No, we're just gonna go park somewhere like as far away from him as we can." But I like to think, because I looked around the parking garage as we walked around, there was no truck there. I was like, he probably just left out of embarrassment, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, probably.
He was like, you know, if you're gonna have a big fucking pipe rack on your truck, just like be aware, park above ground.
Right.
That would be the safest bet, because once you get into that tunnel, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking like how much like my entire night would have been ruined if he actually got stuck and like couldn't back up and no one could get around him, and we were stuck behind all those cars. I would have beat his ass.
Yeah, somebody would have had to pay for that.
But yeah, that was a near night ruining occurrence, and that's been on my mind, because I'm like, how fucking stupid can you be that you don't know how tall your vehicle is? Yeah. It's like, I thought it was good. But then like once you're in that situation, like I don't know how he thought that he could, like he's like, well, I gotta back up.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right.
Like I gotta.
Have to.
It was impossible. I'm sorry, sir.
There's no other course of action. I have to wreck my car now. And he's like, I can't. What am I supposed to do? I can't damage my car.
I mean,
immediately it reverses into your car.
He already had one tail light out, and his tags were like, I think his tags were due back in like March. Oh, so look, dude, get your shit together. Maybe stop spending money at North Hills.
Yeah. Oh my God, that reminds me of this time I went to the ATM over by my parents' house, and they're just like, they're sitting at the ATM, like right in front of it. It's a drive-through ATM. If you're not from the South, and I think that's like a very specific.
Is that a specific?
I'm just not going to actually.
I'm not well traveled enough.
Let's not do that.
If you're not from the South, there's usually a Klan rally at every drive. There's a fish fry at the church next door, and they may or may not be affiliated. You just know there's no black people at that church.
Right.
There's no confirmation.
No, but so like they're basically just like rummaging in their car as they're sitting at a drive-through ATM. And there's two of them. It's two women, like 5 foot, all of 115 pounds. And they're both just like rummaging through the car. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to give them a second. Obviously, they're looking for their wallet, I'm assuming, because
I'm a Bernie troll.
Yeah, just something random. And then eventually it's like 3 minutes now. And I'm like, all right, well, this is too much. So I honk my horn, not in a like,
so what's going on?
Just a beep beep. I'm like, what are we doing? And yeah, so one of them, I think the one that was in the driver's seat, just sticks her dumb head out and was like, because after what she said, then she became dumb.
I was assuming she was dumb because she's a woman.
Well, that's you, man. Nah, but a little bit. But anyways, she goes and sticks her head out the door and is like, "We can't find the wallet." And I was like, so why don't you just pull over for 5 seconds and let me go, and when you find your wallet, you can get the money out. And then they acted like I was the biggest fucking dickhead in the world. I wanted to kill them.
Okay, so
not really. I would not kill anyone.
This is just like a web of anger, because now I'm thinking of another thing that happened to me this weekend that pissed me off.
Yeah.
So I had to go to Food Lion.
Men don't do therapy. They do their podcast.
They do podcasting and copious drinking.
Yeah.
But I went to Food Lion because we were having a dinner with Maddie's sister, and we needed to bring like our own. We didn't want to get our own cuts of steak, and we're gonna bring a side to contribute. So we got sweet potatoes, and we were gonna make deviled eggs. And then we get home, we don't have mayonnaise, we don't have mustard. It's like, well, those are the two things that you kind of need.
Yeah.
Besides the eggs, it's like all 3 things. So I run back to Food Lion, and I just immediately grab mayo, mustard. They're right next to each other. And then I go over to self-checkout. I'm like, oh, I got 2 things. So it'll be quick. But people these days, I guess it's either because they don't want to interact with anybody, or they don't want to wait in line behind what is, seeming to be like a huge, grocery like item list. They don't want to, I want to be waiting behind those people forever. But like the people who scan and bag the groceries are professionals. Like they do it all the fucking time.
It's their whole 8
so
hours.
They're really fast.
Right.
I hate getting to the self-checkout with my 2 things, and all 4 self-checkouts are occupied by old people who are scanning like 30 to 40 things, just full carts, and they're just going so fucking slow. Or like they'll accidentally double scan and be like, "Oh, can someone get over here? Can you take this off?" And they're like, "Take off what?" And they're like, the Bertoli's fettuccine sauce and the
Bertolli fettuccine sauce.
the fajita mix. Can you get? I only got one fajita mix. Can you take off one of them fajita mixes? No, so I'm just standing there, and then finally one opens up, and I walk up because I've been standing there for 5 minutes, and a guy behind me, like, has been like. He was literally behind me. He was not there when I walked up. I don't know what he thought, but apparently he thought he had been waiting before I got there. And he was like, there's someone in line before you. I'm like, what? Because I'm turning around to look at you. So you weren't in line before me.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I cut you 5 minutes ago and you didn't say anything.
Right.
In which case, my bad, but 5 minutes have gone by.
Right.
So you should have said something sooner. I was like, I've got 2 things. And he's like, got a whole cart full, like the rest of these old fucks. I'm like, dude, I'm just going to scan this real quick. And he's like, but I was waiting here. And then I'm like, well, you've got like 50 things, man. So like, I can be in and out. And I'm just going to stand there like, can I start scanning? And he's like pushing his cart up into my space. And I'm just like, okay. And I step aside. Luckily the full service line had just opened up. And I just walked up, placed my things down and get him scanned. And then I'm just like looking at him. And I just watch him from the window after I'd already checked out. And he was there for 10 more minutes scanning all his stupid shit. He had to have the person come and help him twice. And I was like, you fucking piece of shit. Scum of the earth. You think you're better at this than the young people who like toil in that food line? But I was waiting. It's like, I guarantee he was on his phone. He didn't even realize someone else was waiting before him. And he just thought, I've been here for a while, so I should go. But I wasn't about to get into a fucking fight with somebody at the goddamn food line. I had to make deviled eggs. And that was where my priorities were.
Kind of reminds me of my my parents' neighbor. You're aware of them.
Yeah.
They like to just stare. They've always had like a bunch of dogs. And whenever their dogs freak out at us when we're walking into my parents' house, they just bark. They just are actually assholes. And these people are like very anal about how you treat animals and things like that, because they have put their beliefs on our door before about how we should raise our dog. So it is, it's very clear that they love animals and they love dogs. However, I guess they missed the memo when they were supposed to train theirs, because all of their dogs have been super territorial and like bark at everything.
Oh yeah, you walk by their fence and it's like all fucking 3 of them would be like, and then the fucking lady on the back porch stares at me like it's my fault her dogs are barking.
She walks up to you and literally just like stares death into your eyes.
It's like, I could swear that if she had the nerve to speak, she'd be like, you shouldn't walk around in your yard. Like, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Your dogs are fucking schizos. Like, I can't help that.
So I've started to do this thing now that I'm an adult, where I feel like I can talk back to this woman. Because my parents have lived in that house since I was 3 years old. So I grew up there. And so like I'm now just getting to the point where I'm confident with this old woman. And she was staring at me literally earlier today when I was out there. And she's staring directly at me, and I just looked right back at her, and I was like, hey.
Hey.
And she just turned around and walked away. Just nothing, had nothing to say.
With like some old people, it's like they don't, it's like the same thing as like little kids. They don't understand that staring is fucking rude at best and fucking weird.
It's like, either that or they're trying to test, like,
you're trying to test my mettle, sir?
Yeah.
I'll have at you.
You're trying to test my valor? Right?
Look, milk drinker. I'll fuck your shit up.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not the milkman. Why don't you go sit in your...
Why don't you go inside and drink your fucking Premier Protein shake and get out of my fucking face?
I'm sorry, sweetie, but the milkman's not coming by this week. It's not 1955 anymore. But yeah, dude, she pisses me off. She's pissed me off for 20 years. And so yeah, I've started being like kind of confrontational about it. The worst thing that she does, I will say, when you're outside at night, she can't see because she's old, and so she'll shine a spotlight right on you, a flashlight. Just
I've had that happen before.
like right
I'm
on
like,
you.
I'm like, dude, I
You're
just
like,
smoked a
holy
blunt.
shit.
Like, ah.
What the fuck? And just out of nowhere, you feel like you're in prison when you live next to this woman.
Like, woo.
Wild. But my dad did catch her husband smoking a J on the porch the other day, so that was pretty funny.
Better watch
fucking delinquent and fucking boomers.
You know, she wants to tell him that's a fucking gateway drug.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them, since they gave us a paper of like how we should raise our dog back in the day, I'm gonna put a paper of like how smoking is bad for your lungs on their door.
Talk about how marijuana is the leading cause of the feminization of America's male youth.
I think your
grandma genuinely told me that.
I think your husband is a soy boy, ma'am. Who told you that?
He's a soy boy beta cut.
Who told you that?
Who told me what? The feminization?
Yeah.
Oh, Maddie's grandma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were going up to Michigan for a wedding, and I was like, kind of crazy how weed is legal up here, right? And she's like, it's so terrible. Like, it makes men feminine. And I'm like, and I just said under my breath, like, I don't think I look that feminine. Like, it makes men feminine. Makes me horny, usually, I'm being honest.
It makes me want to procreate, actually.
It makes me want to have sex solely in the missionary position for the sole purpose of procreation.
It makes me want to have sex in God's way, in God's intended fashion.
Yeah, that shit makes me want to get married.
It makes me want to find the nearest birth. What is it? I fucked that up.
The nearest birth?
The nearest what is it when a woman is like ready to give birth? What do you call a woman that's like,
You mean ready to give birth, or like ready to get pregnant?
yes, the second one.
Ovulating.
Not even, I think
ovulating.
That's not what I meant. And we'll just move on.
Yo, find me a bitch who's ready to get pumped and dumped. That's what God makes me feel.
Yeah, give me a girl that can be the rebound on the dump side of.
Have you seen the episode of Always Sunny, the D.E.N.N.I.S episode? He's got this whole system. It's an acronym with his name that he basically manipulates and like fucking gaslights women with, like, and that's his whole routine. And then Mac has the Mac system that just move in after completion. He's like, I get the scraps. Because they're just so emotionally broken, they'll sleep with Mac.
That's so funny. That is actually pretty hilarious. I actually watched McConaughey's series about his football team with Ryan Gosling.
That shit is actually kind of interesting.
I loved it. I watched all of it so quick.
I respect McElhenney so much because, well, one, like, him and the other, Charlie and Glenn, like, making that show, they basically did it their way, and, like, that's, like, my dream of how I could make a show is, like, basically just forcing it. Like, we're going to shoestring budget a pilot, straight to FX, and then they're like, this is funny. Like, it's fucked up, but it's funny. And then they just trucked through, and now it's still running. Like, that show's been on TV since I was 5.
Wild.
But also, like, so that aspect is why I respect Rob. But also, he did, like, the whole, like, get buff, like, bit for the show. And he's keeping it up. But he's wholly honest, like, in his, like, Men's Health or whatever magazine. He's like, oh, yeah, this is not possible for a normal person to do. He was like, if I didn't have, like, a whole team of trainers and physical therapists and, like, people dosing me with, like, TRT and, like, hormones and stuff, like, he's like, this wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
He's like, this is not realistic for a guy my age, because he's, like, 46.
Yeah.
He's like, no one can do this.
When I was watching the wrestler for self-tapes, I go watch F&F self-tapes. When I was watching the wrestler for the first episode, I was doing research, and Mickey Rourke was talking about that same thing. And it's like, you look great in that movie. You're in your 50s. How do you do it? And he's like, they had me on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, literally, they had me on everything. They have a scene in that movie where the dealer, like, just laundry lists, like, a bunch of different things. He's like, what do you want, man? And he's like, I'll take all of it.
There's one thing you learned from this episode. Nobody's natty.
Nobody's natty.
Nobody's natty.
Nobody's natty.
The only natty is Natty Daddy.
Yes. That's for damn sure. Papadia. Nothing, it's not a Papa John's Papadia, though.
Yo, Pizzone, get the fuck out of here.
Get a fucking Pizzone.
A Stromboli? Yeah, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Only thing on my mind is the Cool Ranch Papadilla. True Italian cuisine.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're 25 minutes in. I think we can intro the show now.
Okay, you do it.
Okay.
It's the basement tapes, guys.
Yeah.
Took too long. Sorry. I was just seething with anticipation. It's the basement tape.
Yeah, we're the basement tape.
It's funny because neither are we taping this, and it's also technically not even a basement. It's like a half basement.
I would say it's a basement. Well, I guess it's not fully underground.
It's halfway under. The front part's underground.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's not.
It's a half-ass basement for a half-ass podcast.
On the ground level. That's for one. Yeah. It's like
it's on the lower ground. I don't know.
It's kind of in.
It's like when they built this into the side of a hill, they just buried the front half in a pile of dirt.
Yeah.
And the back half, you can walk outside.
Exactly.
It's nice. It's where we go play, cornhole.
Yeah, and then in the big, massive backyard that I have.
Oh, yeah. We let all the dogs run around because, there's all the dogs here.
Yeah, and then sometimes we let the reptiles out. Yeah. And when I'm washing the McLaren and whatnot, media mogul stuff. But this will be the basement tapes. I think this is going to be like a bi-weekly just shoot the shit episode.
Kind of like whenever I can get around to it.
Yeah.
Basically.
So be on the lookout for this. This will have its own feed. This won't be on Finding New Films feed or anything like that. So I have its own feed. And then it seems like every time I introduce a new show, I just kind of have one coming on the back burner. Preston, most recently on Finding New Films. Saint-Pétard. He has been speaking to me about perhaps doing a sports podcast.
Ooh.
Sports specific podcast, and co-hosting with his dad. So it'd be an audio only pod, but I think it'd be cool to have like 8 of us all in like 8 people doing podcasts is what I mean by that.
Hell yeah.
Of like having consistent stuff on here. Because then we can all
another
guest on each other.
Another thing I want to do is this podcast is kind of an opportunity to just talk about normal shit and not be stuck to one topic and just talk about our lives. Because I feel like what a lot of people value in content is feeling like they kind of know the people they're listening to. Because when you just hear us talk about movies and hear our opinions on movies, it's kind of only within the context of if you've seen that movie, but you don't know anything about us. There's why does this guy feel this way? It's well, the more you listen to this podcast, you'll realize I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And that's why I might have stupid opinions about movies.
I think you will realize pretty quickly that the person you get in Finding New Films is a very refined version of me for the most part. Refined is a crazy word, probably, but I
was about to say refined.
But I mean, definitely presenting is trying to
more of a host
when I'm
attitude.
reading. Yeah, when I'm hosting, I'm not just being me.
Like Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, there you go. Whoever that guy is.
Dan Rather.
There you go. I'm
Dan
like
Rather.
Dan Rather. or we have to take a break really quickly. Because the camera will go off if we don't. So it's either take a break or look stupid. So we're gonna take a break.
We kind of already.
Hey, hey, we can look dumb, right, on camera. We're gonna look incompetent if it just goes out. So I'd rather just be stupid, not stupid and incompetent.
Hey, we're stupid, but we know how camera work.
Yeah, it's about to go out in 5 seconds.
Oh shit! Well, wait, one more thing. Oh,
I didn't even have it on.
I was kidding. It wasn't that loud. You can do it again. Yeah.
The two that I fucked up was actually me fucking that up. Yeah, well, we're back.
Right. We haven't broached most of the topics we talked about.
No, we're just talking about Oppenheimer in the mid show, and I did just mention how apparently Oppenheimer has been on record. Maybe I just read a taken out of context quote or whatever, but I did read where he was like, "We recreated a nuclear explosion." Like, what does that mean? You're like, oh yeah, we just recreated one of the most deadly things.
First we had to go to Iran.
And making Iran look like Japan was really hard.
But that's where the nukes were.
So you just gotta follow the money.
Look, the Shah is actually a really cool guy.
Warner Brothers fucked him over, and he said, "Fuck it, I'm going to get that Saudi money."
Yeah.
I love we're just spreading rumors about Christopher Nolan.
There's been some damning evidence that I've seen.
He's not a good person.
No, just that he goes to great lengths to make these movies real. I mean, Matthew McConaughey is still in that black hole in space.
Have you seen some of the stuff that TMG has done with Matthew McConaughey, or like what Matthew McConaughey has been up to?
No.
He literally is running he's starting like a Scientology-esque like religion. He's not a religion. It's more of like a self-help.
It's a personal philosophy.
It's like Tony Robbins. It literally is like that, but it's Matthew McConaughey. And I think that he is kind of just like, I was about to say something bad. He's kind of just like robbing, like just 40-year-old women that are thirsting over Matt McConaughey.
All right. I mean, hey, you know who deserves to get scammed? It's fucking 40-year-old women.
Yeah, 40-year-old white women. They did vote for Trump.
Go straight from the Jared Leto cult to the fuck.
Wait,
was it Joaquin Phoenix or Jared Leto that had a cult? It was Jared Leto, right?
Leto, yeah.
Yeah. They go straight from the Jared Leto cult to the Matthew McConaughey church.
Yeah. I mean, look, if anybody deserves it, it's white women because they voted for Trump in both elections.
Yeah, white women.
I mean, come on now.
Come on.
All right. You were right. We have not hit any of our topics. What is one of them is yours. What is your what is one you want to touch on?
Well, I mean, if you guys play video games, Starfield is probably like the number one thing on my mind right now. I've been thinking about it obsessively since the whole 45-minute reveal they did. And they just went into deep detail about like what you can do in the game, and it's all so much better than I thought.
I literally was watching it this morning, and I had not seen it yet, and that is how you sell a fucking video game.
That is like, I've seen a lot of people saying this. It is the first game that I've seen since the PS5 and the new Xbox dropped to actually look and seem like it's going to be a true next gen like
actual game. Yeah,
this would not be possible on the previous consoles.
Yeah,
not by a long shot.
That, and it's not going to be just a game that is getting you to the next one.
Yeah.
And this actually feels like they are groundbreaking. I mean,
they've been working on this actively since Fallout 4 came out in 2015. So it's been like 8 years of development. It was supposed to come out last year. They delayed it. And they delayed it again to September. It was supposed to be out in March this year. And I was like, that's kind of sketchy, like delays simultaneously. Maybe like, well, they're taking their time, but also like that means it could be in a broken state, like within a year of release. And that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to Cyberpunk.
Right.
And like fucking the new Jedi Survivor game, which I was super hyped for, like was running like shit and being like super unstable. So I still haven't bought it yet because of that. But like they took their time, and like everything in the game looks better than the little bit of gameplay we saw like a little over a year ago. Everything looks way better. They really like showed like this is the scope of the game. Like seeing them like walk into that big ass city on like the main planet, I was like, whoa.
That was
because that
massive.
like and all the NPCs running around like doing their own thing. It's like, man, you walk into a Skyrim city, there's like 10 dudes.
And they're walking in circles.
Yeah, and they just kind of walk and they say the same dialogue every time, and like it just feels like, oh, this is the capital of Skyrim, home to 30 people.
Yeah. Right.
Which, like, you know, obviously they had limitations, and I still love those games, but like being able to actually do what they've been trying to make the games feel like for the first time is so fucking amazing. So seeing like that city and the other city they revealed, and like the planets and how there's different biomes on the planets. You can build your own ship. You can be a pirate, a smuggler. Like this is the Star Wars RPG I've always wanted. And
You
it's
can
just
build
not Star Wars.
outposts.
And I don't know if you noticed at the very end, but they kind of teased like space magic.
Yeah.
Like when the guy lifted all the people up in the air, and I was like, there's space magic.
Yeah.
If I can be a wizard cowboy in space, like
There was also that one.
that's all I need. I'll pay $100 for that fucking game.
There was also that one scene in it where the guy he puts his hand up like he's doing force magic, and he like causes zero gravity.
And it's like,
because of it.
and it seems to be that the plot of the game is like discovering these ancient alien artifacts that give you these powers. And like
so sick.
that's an interesting plot. The character models and everything look beautiful. The landscapes are very pretty. The weapons look cool, and like
I was fascinated by the western-looking planet Freestar.
yeah, and it's supposed to be like a libertarians in space. I'm like, I can't wait.
It's so funny, and I love I love the way they write stuff. So I can't wait for all the funny dialogue.
And the shooting and like the melee combat looked really solid.
I liked that you can still have like a sword.
Yeah, it's like a vibro sword or whatever that they would have in Star Wars, and like that, like the cool axe that has like electrified
And then the punch it and perk.
Yeah, just being able to punch people into zero gravity and they just like flip flop through the air away.
So
There's jetpacks. I mean, not only do you build your own ship, but you fly it. You can do space dogfights, and you can like have a fleet of ships. You can board other ships, and like this is all the fucking
board
stuff.
the ships and take them.
Yeah.
Like once you board it, it's yours.
I mean, you can be a bounty hunter. Like that's all I've ever wanted, is to be a space bounty hunter.
And landing on a planet, finding a city, for like going around, finding an abandoned mine, being like, oh, I like this place, putting an outpost down. Like all that shit is so cool. Like,
And it's just, I was so skeptical up until that reveal. I was like, wow, that is how you literally completely 180, like my opinion.
yeah,
Because like all this time I've been like, man, Starfield, what cool, they're doing something new, but like, where's fucking Elder Scrolls 6?
right.
But now that I've seen what Starfield is gonna be, I'm like, I'm just running wild. Like, what is Elder Scrolls 6 gonna be like? Like they said, it's at least 5 years away, and I'm like, it was probably gonna be like more like 6 to 8.
Yeah,
But I can only imagine that like it will be like the most, like the definitive, like this is fucking Tamriel, like this is fucking, like I imagine they're gonna go big with it, because like with like the size of the game of Starfield, with all the, you know, procedurally generated planets, and like I think they said that there's probably a dozen or so that are like fully populated, like cities and stuff. I'm like, that's a lot of content, and it's like they can do like a whole continent in the next Elder Scrolls. And I'm just like, okay, this is fun, cool. I imagine like if there's like, you know, armies and like huge battles in that game, I'm like,
oh my god, if
I'm
they
gonna-
actually do a proper army plot,
like an actual proper civil war. Because like that's the thing, is mods. Like every Bethesda game has a huge modding community, and it's like they can do unlimited things like with this engine and like what we've seen. I'm like, dude, they can probably convert Starfield to a Star Wars game.
yeah, probably.
And then I'm just like, now I'm just fucking playing Star Wars,
Yeah,
because that's like what I want. I was so disappointed because there's another new Star Wars game coming out.
yeah. the
Star Wars
RPG.
Outlaws. I was like, oh, an open world, like big Star Wars RPG, awesome. And it's like you can't customize your character, and it's a linear story. I'm like, yeah.
So what?
You keep missing the fucking point. You remember how fucking banging Knights of the Old Republic was?
Yeah.
Evidently not. Evidently not.
They don't.
Evidently you
Yeah,
don't.
they don't.
I mean, Star Wars Jedi Academy. I want to just, I mean, I love the games with Cal Kestis and stuff. Like those are great games, but you don't really have any choices to make. It's
Yeah.
not like branching decisions, and like you're not really building a character. You're just kind of filling out the upgrade tree for all your skills. It's just like Assassin's Creed and Dark Souls a little
Grand
bit.
Theft Auto.
It's not even as deep as Dark Souls. I mean, the combat is similar, but it's not like,
It's not even as deep as Red Dead Redemption.
no.
The Red Dead Redemption, you still pay for your like consequences and stuff.
Yeah, there's like a karma system.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't played the newest game. I don't know if there's been like major changes in that regard, but I haven't heard anything about it. So I'm doubtful on that. There could just be a true Star Wars RPG with some actual fucking effort put in. I would really appreciate it. But it seems like everyone who has license for any kind of Star Wars media like completely fucks it up.
Yeah, it's like they are so. Also, that it could also just be that Lucasfilm is like, nah. And, I'm sure Disney also has oversight over anything they do.
I mean, I'm excited because EA no longer has exclusive, rights to make Star Wars games. And I just wish that someone other than Ubisoft was the first to get a crack at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Ubisoft.
Really anybody else, because they haven't impressed me in a long time. Like, cool, you made the new Assassin's Creed games, and they're really fun, but you kind of just copied other existing action RPGs at the time, so I mean, you didn't really do that much.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
I told my dad about Starfield, and he his eyes lit up like a kid, and he's like, "That's all I've ever wanted." And then
more space.
He wanted to pre-order it immediately after I showed him the 3-minute. Yeah, I was like, "Well,
you don't have to pre-order anything."
I was like, "That might be a little."
It might be a little much. Does he have an Xbox?
It's PlayStation 4.
I don't know if it'll be on that.
Well, he might be sad.
Like, Pa, you don't have to upgrade.
It's fine. I'll get my Blu-ray player back. It's perfectly fine.
That is what the PlayStation 4 really became, was just a Blu-ray DVD player.
For me, at least, yeah.
My PlayStation 5 that
I just looked up PlayStation 4.
It's just a fucking a Spider-Man box, really. It's a $500 machine for Spider-Man. Which, I mean, totally worth it so far. And then I've got Miles Morales to do.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. It's
only on Xbox.
It's only on Xbox because because they bought the company.
But it's also going to be only on next gen. Like, even if it were going to be on PlayStation, it would have only been on PlayStation 5.
Forgot about that. Suck a dick, bitches.
Yeah, PlayStation, fuck off. I'm Xbox for life.
Yeah, I didn't just buy it.
I mean, I did buy a PlayStation 5, but that's because
I'm just branching it. I'm just playing.
That's fun. Because my girlfriend wanted to play The Last of Us.
I'm just playing fun little games on my little PlayStation for the little tiny platformers. That's what I got my PlayStation for.
Fucking Microsoft is still trying to buy Activision, but it looks like
I would not fucking do that. Yeah,
seems like they're not going to be allowed to.
From the SEC.
I think, the FTC's like, nah, this is like a monopoly. But it's weird. I mean, I think it's weird that, I don't really want them to, because I don't like the idea of them having such a huge, monopoly on the industry. But at the same time, Sony gets none of the criticism that Microsoft gets for buying studios. People were so pissed when Microsoft bought ZeniMax, which owns Bethesda,
right,
publishing and developing. But Sony, the only reason they have so many exclusives is because back in the PlayStation 2 era, they bought up a bunch of studios, and they did the same thing in the PlayStation 3 era. They bought up a bunch of studios,
and then they renamed them PlayStation Studios.
Yeah, so I mean, Naughty Dog is owned by PlayStation, so owned by Sony, and so is Insomniac Games, who makes Spider-Man, and Santa Monica, who makes God of War. They all were bought by Sony. So, and it was oh, well, that's fine. Why? Why is that fine? Because I think it would be cooler if everybody got to play games like God of War or The Last of Us or Spider-Man, but we can't because Sony wanted to be selfish. And it was well, Microsoft, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Because they've got a better controller. Suck my dick. PS5 controller sucks. PS4 controller fucking sucks. If you're a small child, the PS3 controller was pretty good. If you've got actual big meaty claws,
Xbox controller.
You've got a veiny thumb, you need an Xbox controller.
They are really nice.
Feels like you're holding a nice, thick.
The DualShock 4 was a really nice controller.
It's nicely built, but I don't like the placement of the thumbsticks, and I hate the.
Yeah, I do.
I hate the trigger and button on the PlayStation controllers. The Xbox trigger is so much better. Like LTRT beats
being able to like,
L2R2.
I think being able to recoil and not have it be like a button that is like not attached to the rest of the
the L2R2 is too mushy.
Yeah.
And the L1R1, I just don't like.
You can't even trigger finger anything.
I don't like the tactile feel of the L1R1.
Yeah.
It's just I don't like it. And I don't like where the thumbsticks are. The D-pad is better. I'll give them that.
Well, fuck.
The D-pad is better on the PlayStation. It's good for fighting games or platformers.
Oh yeah, that D-pad in the PlayStation is incredible.
The D-pad on Xbox is fucking garbage.
Like, yeah, the
trying to play Brawlhalla on Xbox. Like, why is my combo going the wrong way? It's because the whole fucking D-pad is one big button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bullshit.
And it gets worn out quick on the Xbox.
I will say I've heard similar stories about PlayStation controllers and Switch controllers, but like I probably I have 4 Xbox controllers. 3 of them all have stick drift.
Your D-pad, like on my D-pad at least, like on a few of my Xbox 360 controllers, you could like shake the controller and like you could see the D-pad like flopping around. It was pretty bad.
I mean, my left stick always ends up getting stuck. Like whether it's a year, 2 years, or like I bought a $65 Xbox controller and it started having stick drift after 3 months.
Yeah. I love quick running.
And I'm stupid because I didn't do the warranty thing and get a new one.
Yeah.
It's been way too long now. But
I love doing...
it's not my fucking fault.
I love playing sports games because I'm a nerd. I'm a sports nerd.
Sports nerd.
And so I like playing like my GM and being like, what team could I put together for the Nets to win the NBA title? And I'll like ruin my A button from like trying to sim like 80 games in an hour and a half, you know, and that's like not viable for those controllers, not built for that.
There is a game I used to play on the computer where it's like some, you know, medieval strategy like warfare game, but I would use cheats because it was super, super hard.
Yeah.
Unless you like could read and follow directions. Then it was pretty easy, but I was like 10, so I didn't do that. But I learned how to do the cheats, and like there was just like you had to press Control and X. It was like hold Control and just tap X, and it would give you like 100 golds or something, which is like a very small amount. But I was like, well, I could sit here for like 30 minutes, just
yeah.
And eventually, I just popped the fucking X key off my keyboard because I was cheating so much in that game because I needed money,
just flying off.
And I've definitely done that to like, I mean, like I've broken sticks and controllers because like when you know you play RPGs or something, you sprint everywhere, you don't so I'm just sprinting and like holding that fucking stick as hard as I can. I don't know why I put so much pressure on it. It's like when you catch yourself like white knuckling the steering wheel. Like why am I holding this shit so tight?
Why am I so angry right now?
Huh? It's like, are your thumbs sore like after like 2 games of Mario Kart? It's like, no. It's like, look at my fucking hands are like red and like raw. Like I'm just fucking gripping that shit.
You guys ever get out of breath after a Mario Kart game?
Dude, I have a brain aneurysm every time I play Mario Kart.
I will never forget when we were in high school and we had those 3 games of 1 and that dumbass, she was so bad. Like we knew
Grand Prix.
We're doing a Grand Prix on 150cc, right?
It's a competition between
on a smart board.
Basically 4 teams.
Right. And we're doing it on a smart board in our history class. I'm not going to say the guy's name because I don't want him to get in trouble. But nevertheless, he brought his Switch in. We were doing Grand Prix, 150cc on a smart board. Me and Trevor are teaming for first 2 races. I think you took the first race. I remember I raced twice.
I think I did the second one and you did the first and third. And then we were pressured by, I can't remember if it was the teacher or like
whoever.
Just the girl made us feel bad. So like, we're so far ahead, we'll let her play.
Right.
Because even if she gets like 5th, we'll win.
6th.
Because we got
she fucking gets 6th.
And we came in 2nd by like 2 or 3 points in the fucking Grand Prix.
My blood was boiling.
I still think about that. She was so
I hated her.
Bad. And it wasn't
for that.
Like Mario Kart Wii.
Not for anything else, just for that.
It wasn't even Mario Kart Wii where like you have to like turn the controller.
No.
Like there was no motion control. It wasn't complicated.
She just couldn't figure out fucking switch drift.
I couldn't figure out how to hold down A and press B occasionally.
I couldn't figure out how to hold the trigger down through the turns.
I mean, it wasn't even the not drifting. It was just the fact that she kept hitting the walls on every turn.
Yeah.
Like at one point, she was in 4th or like 3rd, and I was like, It's in the bag. Like,
Oh, we are good.
we're fine.
Nope. Red shell. Turned around. Doesn't know where she is.
Hit a fucking she was like, I need an item. Fucking hit one of those fake item blocks. It was just sitting by itself in the middle of a road. It's like, that was a fake one. It's red, first of all. It doesn't move, and it's not surrounded by other item blocks. So what the fuck were you thinking? Look, we take this shit serious.
Yeah.
Don't ruin my career.
Speaking of
ruining my career.
Speaking of having an aneurysm while you play Mario.
No, I actually played yesterday and rage quit.
No, yeah. If anyone knew what it was like to have an aneurysm while playing Mario Kart, it was probably her. Oh wow. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the last thing that we wanted to talk about today because we got like 10 minutes left. So I was gonna talk about Secret Invasion.
Oh yeah. Let's shove that in real quick.
Yeah. It really only deserves to get shoved in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Extra
thought.
It's like a C show.
It felt very much like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, but
not
Sam
as good.
Jackson.
Not as good.
But Sam Jackson.
But Samuel Jackson. Why was he just like doing? I mean, I know he's old, but like it seemed like he was doing everything with absolute zero sense of urgency.
Yeah, he's like chilling.
Like the guy that they're after, like he's about to orchestrate a terrorist attack in the town square. He sees him and he's like, I'm gonna walk towards him like I'm Jason Voorhees. I'm like, dude, fucking hustle up. You've been tailing him for like 5 minutes. Like, put a little bit of pep in your step, dog. Like, I'm actually trying to catch this guy. I don't understand. Like, I think this length of stride is good enough to stop this crisis.
He's like an 80-year-old man now. He's like, I'm gonna get there when I get there.
Also, Maria Hill's reaction to getting shot was just like, ooh, what you say?
Yeah, that was
like, I mean, I don't know what all and vital organs are like right here, but I feel like you get shot.
That's right like here. The place where
that's a fatal one. Like, at least put it up by her heart or something. Like, I know that's a done deal.
I was gonna say I don't know that's like,
but a belly shot, like instantly dead like that. Like, she was only like, it was like 30 seconds and she was out.
Yeah, like that's the kill shot.
I'm gonna need some anatomy lessons because I don't know what important veins or arteries are in the stomach.
If I had any thought, it was like, oh, that's where you shoot somebody if you're not trying to kill them. That would be like where I would estimate shooting someone if the plot was, oh, I'm going to shoot you, but I'm not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Like, that would be where I would shoot.
Yeah, like somewhere in the shoulder, like upper chest, or like
right
lower
gut. Like, I don't know, right in the belly. And you can take out some intestine. You can take out like 4 feet of intestine.
Like you'll be fine. But people survive that. You know, I feel like a gut shot is not an instant death. Like in a war zone, yes, but like in their world, where like a fucking medevac drone can swoop in and take you back, and they can throw you in like a Bacta tank or whatever.
And how like you know, how quiet that shot was. Couldn't have been anything more than a 22.
Yeah,
they just killed her. You just got snub-nosed pistoled right in the middle of the crowd, and there's no shrapnel. Nobody else got hit. Clean shot.
Nick
right.
Fury got shot in the chest with like a fucking sniper round.
Yeah, and he was good. Only did like 30 minutes later.
He was fine. Faked his own death over it, and he had enough energy to get a headstone made and everything.
Wild.
But yeah, I like the cameos.
Yeah,
those are nice to see characters we haven't seen in a while. But it's also like the last time we heard it or saw anything about the scroll was so long ago. It's like, and they didn't make them out to be any kind of threat then. So it feels like it's just like alien flag smashers.
Yeah,
This is gonna be all world. Why though? Like,
really, like
we were chill for like 30 years.
I do think it's a good idea to have a show be not fuck. Why do I always blank right when I go to talk? This fucking ADHD needs to get rid of itself. But basically, I really enjoy that this is like a holdover show for the new Captain Marvel movie. I think it'd be really awkward to just show up with all of these characters right now at this point.
That's fair.
So being like, hey, here's what the Skrulls have been doing. But I do have on my notes. I took a few notes, as I am known to do. And I have this note that says the Skrulls have very good babyface build that immediately just gets turned around when you find out they're using humans as vessels.
Yeah.
Like that is demented. I will say there's some pretty dark shit in this show.
It is definitely one of the darker Marvel projects.
And I think if it wasn't, it might fall flat on its
It would lose
face.
a lot of the appeal for me. It feels like an actual like.
I might not watch episode 2 if it's not as dark as it was willing to go. So
yeah, I think that like with Nick Fury, you kind of got to get like serious.
Yeah,
and like I mean, they kind of showed like this is gonna be like there's gonna be a lot happening here.
And I like seeing Rhodey.
He's like Hydra conspiracy vibes a bit.
Yeah, I like seeing Rhodey because Rhodey's gonna come back in Armor Wars, and I'm sure he's gonna be in. I'm sure he's gonna be in Ironheart.
Gotta love Don Cheadle.
He's really good, and I really liked Olivia Colman. I love her so much.
I gotta see more of Emilia Clarke before I form an opinion.
Yeah.
Just Game of Thrones.
She is such a Miss actress. She's not. I don't even know.
Mid.
She's so mid. I don't know, man. She's a miss for me. I didn't like her in the Solo movie. I don't. Everything I've seen of her as Khaleesi, I think is like
really.
It's kind of shadowed by the show.
When that show was like the only big thing she had done, and with like how crappy the creators of the show were, and like the showrunners, and like just how phoned in it was the last half of that show, you can kind of skirt by and be like, well, like she's all right. Like she didn't have a say.
Right.
It's like it's not really her fault. It's like it's the direction or the writing, or whatever. Like, those are fair things to say. But in everything else I've seen her around, I'm just kind of like,
yeah. She's there.
She's pretty.
She's in the movie.
Very pretty woman.
She is in the movie and she's in this show. That's for sure.
Get that bag.
She is definitely speaking and has a role in the movie.
Just think if she hadn't got her titties out on HBO so much, she wouldn't be in so many other shows.
Who knows?
I think they're just holding out hope. Like we'll get them titties out again.
Not for Marvel.
Casting.
Not for Marvel though.
She's kind of getting
a lot more.
Then she'll go back to the indie art house stuff, and then she'll get naked again.
Yeah, but the acting won't be good.
No. It'll be all right. Same as the titties. Just all right.
I think on that note, drop my microphone. I think we're going to end it.
Yeah, Papadias are waiting upstairs.
Yeah, they are scorching hot. Daniel just got home with them.
Delivered by John. Whatever.
Schnatter.
Yeah, John Schnatter brought them himself.
He delivered his Papadias to the house.
Yeah. So what they won't tell you is he still makes all of the products.
Yeah, he told me yesterday he had 50 pizzas in the last 25 days.
Yeah, he's not on the board, but he's still personally making every single pizza.
Yeah.
Every pepperoni has to get the sniff test. That big melting cheese nose of his is just...
His big Bert and Ernie nose.
I gotta piss.
Yeah, me too. So that is it for the first episode. We may post this. It may not get posted. Who knows? But that is it for this episode of The Basement Tapes. I almost called this Finding New Films. This is first episode of The Basement Tapes. And yeah, I hope it's not the last one.
Thanks for watching. Fun. Yeah, I hope
this was fun.
If you don't ever leave comments, please leave one and be like, yeah, I will watch more of this, or be like, just keep this to yourselves.
Yeah,
I'll respect it. Why 35 of you out there, I'll respect it.
Yeah, just be like, hey guys, why don't you just call each other sometime?
Yeah, you guys should just hang out and talk without the camera.
Yeah, I think that would be
just better. Turn the camera to the wall and unplug the microphone.
If you really need a camera there, just turn it on, but don't edit or post it or market it or anything.
Just archive it and, keep it to yourself.
All right. Yeah, we are really dwindling out of time now. We have 30 seconds. So, thank you very much. Much love to your mother. And we'll see you next 2 weeks or so.
Whenever we fucking feel like it.
Yeah, whenever we feel like it. How about that?
Yeah.